Hi, I'm Brandon. I love Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Brian. I like Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark Christmas movies. And this is the
Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host his podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Well, hello, all you beautiful people out in podcast land. I don't know. I
looking good.
Stick with that, huh?
I just thought I would try it,
All right.
and after I said it, I didn't feel like it's
Beautiful
felt
people
very
on
good.
podcast land.
They are. I mean, they are beautiful people out in
And they are in
podcast land.
podcast
They are in
land.
podcast land or
Gotta
in
be some-
Philo land.
Got to be some uggos out there, too.
No,
Everybody's beautiful.
everybody's beautiful.
Good.
Yeah, in their own way.
I am beautiful in every single way.
Can words bring you down?
I'm in podcast land. Oh, don't let Dan bring me down today.
Yeah, he shouldn't be able to.
He shouldn't be able to. I know he called you uggos, but I don't think you're
Yeah,
uggos.
we don't think
I don't think so. Brian, how was your weekend, buddy? You do
Weekend
anything
was
fun
good.
this weekend?
A little bit of fun. We did. What did we finally did the Santa Con that
We did Santa Con,
for so
Yes.
long.
which is different than
Yes.
Christmas Con.
Yeah,
It is.
Despite
Don't
being
confuse
held on
them.
the same weekend.
No.
Yeah, so that was fun.
Manhattan, a ton of
Took it by
Santas.
storm.
The busiest I've ever seen Manhattan.
It's the busiest,
Ever.
yeah.
So big.
It
Can't
was
believe there's
ever.
that many people in the world.
It's
It's
crazy.
just-
It's
That
a lot
city
of
never
people.
sleeps. Although
That's
we
what
heard
we heard
it
otherwise.
does sleep around
We heard-
4:35 in the morning.
Yeah.
That there's nothing open.
Which my thing is just like at that point, like
Just
just
stay open.
roll over.
Yeah.
But that's just that's just my thoughts. But yeah, it was an I don't know if I would classify SantaCon as a fun time. It was a confusing time.
It was a very confusing.
It was
Yeah.
an interesting time.
hectic
I
time.
think if you're
a hectic
If
time.
you're 22 years old and you're trying to wear a Santa outfit while getting obliterated before noon,
Yeah.
then I think it is your scene.
Yeah,
But
that's never been my life. I've never
Yeah.
done that. And so I wasn't going to start then. And I also don't really like beer. And so it was not like...
that was tough for you.
But I did like seeing all the Santas, and I will say,
Yeah.
we went into one bar. We saw the inside of a couple of more, like through windows. They're all so festive.
They look
I will
so
say
nice.
that's one
Yes.
thing
Yeah,
that
yeah.
did
Great
really
decoration.
work for me was just how and we have a vlog coming out soon, I'm sure. Danny Vlog is working on it, but it was a beautifully decorated
Yeah.
establishment.
Yeah,
So
vibes
kudos
were
to
there.
all of the bars, specifically the one that we made it into, which is called
Jack
Jack
Doyle's.
Jack
Doyle's.
Dorrels.
The pickle.
Doyle's, not Dorrels.
Pickle let us there.
Doyles.
There was a pickle on the street who was yelling into a
Pickle
bullhorn.
told us where to go.
There was no line there, and so that's where we went.
Pickle told us where to
And it
go.
was shoulder to shoulder in there. Holy
Inside
cow.
was packed. I
No
couldn't-
line, but it was packed.
Yes.
It was packed.
were there for
We
the soccer match.
saw some tears. We saw some. We saw some kissing big ones.
Yeah.
We saw the tree. We did go see the
Oh, we
tree.
did
Go
see
see
the
the
tree.
tree.
Almost
Which is,
forgot about that giant
Walked
tree.
a mile
good
and a
looking
half to
tree.
go see the tree.
Saw
and
that
turn
tree.
right back
It looked
around.
great.
And then we stopped
Yeah.
at what was the name of that restaurant? The
Harrison's
Brasserie.
Brasserie, I believe.
We did
So we
stop.
ate really well.
Yeah, we did really good stuff. But the highlight of the day, of course, was the double-decker dinner,
Yeah,
which was
of
so
course.
much fun. It's why we're here.
Yeah.
And it was great to see everybody that was out there that lives in that area or was at Christmas Con or whatever. They all came over to Edison
Or
Pizza.
across the pond.
Or across the pond,
fly
in
across
fact.
the pond there.
It was so great to see everybody. So thank you so much for coming out if you came out. And if you didn't come out, that's okay. We're not
Yeah.
judging you or anything like that.
Right. Just
We're
come next
hurt.
year.
We're hurt.
Yeah. Feelings are hurt.
If you're
for
watching
sure.
philo.tv/CTH, you can see Brand's holding back tears, but
We're hurt.
His feelings are hurt.
Yeah.
yeah.
So come on out next year. Definitely do that again. Some of it.
But just thinking about Philo actually cheered me up. I love
Oh,
Philo.
good.
So much Christmas
Oh,
content
this time
on the
of year,
Philo.
are you kidding me?
It's the best place. Because here's the thing. If you're trying to watch a ton of Christmas classics while also watching the Hallmark or the Lifetimes or whatever, then there's really no better option because you'll be searching your heart out trying to find all your favorite Christmas movies.
Searching your heart out.
Yep.
And then you'll be renting them or buying them or whatever. What if they were just all in one nice place?
Like a hub of
ton,
sorts.
a
Like a
ton
hub, yeah.
of holiday
sense to
classics,
me.
plus the made-for-TV movies, all for one low price. One low. I meant to say one low.
price.
but I said
Sounds like you're
1-1
trying to
low
trick
price.
somebody.
I'm not
11 low prices.
a 1-1
no.
a 1-1 low
One
price.
low price. Call 1-1 low price.
That's exactly
now.
right. A movie you could have seen on Philo is To All a Good Night. It's a movie we're going to be reviewing right now. It originally aired on December 7th, 2023, and you didn't even see it. It went a little something. Last. Cece is a photographer who is helping some kids take pictures of some rocks. After class, she calls her friend Penny and is like, he's on the move! They meet up at her house and they're frantically following the tracker. They're driving around town and they finally track down this thief that they've been trying to find. It's a dog thief. He's a good boy. He's getting a little mischief, but he's a good boy. We then meet a fella named Sam, who is a fancy boy with fancy job. He is supposed to be taking over his dad's fancy company, but I don't know. Something tells me there's something in the water there. I don't know, but he might have higher hopes, higher aspirations.
That's really good.
He receives a letter with an elephant stamp and promptly runs to his motorcycle. He sees the elephant and says, I got to get out of here. Cece's dad apparently hosted an event every year called To All a Good Night. That's the name of the flick as well. In the woods of the town. It was like Burning Man, but Christmas. He passed away, and Cece doesn't think
so.
No? That's how it was pitched to me.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know.
Should we do Burning Man to find out?
Burning Man, but Christmas. He passed away. That is kind of what Santa caught is, from my understanding. He passed away, and Cece doesn't think that she can do the event this year, so she cancels it. But people are still like, we're giving money for the charities and stuff. It's what your dad would have wanted, blah, blah, blah. She's out of the woods, out in the woods. She's not out of the woods. She's not Taylor Swifting it at all. She is out in the woods and sees a motorcycle speeding by, and then she hears a crash. She goes to check on the guy, and he says his name is Sam. He has his helmet on, and she says, whatever you do, don't take your helmet off until the paramedics come. Because you might. That's the one thing I know. He notices her elephant necklace, and he is like, "Whoa, an elephant!" He asks her to marry him if he lives, and she's like, "Yeah, sure. If you live, we'll get married on Christmas." Blah blah blah. Fun times. The next day, she goes to take him a burger. Because she talked about how great the burger is at Sally's. Is it Sally's?
Yeah,
that's right.
It's a Sally Christmas burger.
She goes into his room. He's not there currently. She does see his phone, and a text message pops up about land acquisition. So she assumes that this fancy boy is here to try to purchase my woods. And I'm not having it. He is excited to see the burger and the elephant balloons, but bummed that she didn't stick around, because they're supposed to get married. We then see he's looking at Cece's dad obituary on his phone, just kind of like looking at it.
Cece's dad obituary?
Yeah, just let me talk. I'm trying. Penny and Cece, just rest your voice, pal. This is supposed to be a good day for me. Penny and Cece decide to interview him for the paper, but she takes off her necklace so that he won't recognize, because remember, he was like, whoa, elephant. He asks their help in finding the woman who saved his life. He's got to marry this woman. Marry that girl, elephant. He's not going to marry a girl. Cece agrees, and naturally...
Cece's dad obituary.
Cece agrees, and naturally that leads to them hanging out a ton. Eventually, she does have to put on the necklace because a kid is asking about it, and he's like, I knew it was you the whole time. He encourages her to do the To All a Good Night event. After seeing how much it means to the town, he's like, I think it would actually help you if you do it. He tells her that he has no interest in buying her wood. He does have a plan for development, but nothing to do with your woods. Your woods,
stay out of your woods.
They're safe. Then her stepmother shows up, and it's like, hey, I know I own half of the land. I'm going to sell it to you. $1. $1, Bob. And it's going to belong to her. The dog brings Cece a letter that the dog found. It is a letter to Sam from Cece dad. Turns out they served in the military together. He says that her dad
served in the military together.
No, they did not serve in the military together. That's
They
right.
both did serve at
They
separate
served.
times. He meets him after he leaves the military.
Army knows Army.
Okay.
Yeah, Army and recognize Army.
Sure. Respect.
Okay. Anyway, both served in the military. Turns out he was in a tough go of it, and his dad really helped him out. I assumed that he was like a doctor in the military.
Sure.
I assumed he was a.
He just found
One of
a
those things.
hospital.
Some dots you connected that weren't there.
What's that?
There's some dots you connected that weren't there.
But why? How did he come across them then?
Go ahead, Aaron.
When the dad went on the cruise, he was in Italy. Sam was in Italy hiding from facing the reality of his life.
Right.
Dad came up to him at a cafe, got to talking, talked about their experiences in Army, and said, hey, you have so much to live for.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. I love that story.
Yes,
That's
I do
great.
too. The real one.
And so
the one we learned in the movie.
In the movie.
Sure.
The one that actually
anyway,
happened.
so they
Guys,
served in the military together, and he was his doctor, and was like, "Hey, your dad saved my life," and all that good stuff. And then he's
Tourniquet.
like,
we love the troops.
and then he's like, "Hey, your dad sent me a letter. It was like, you need to find my daughter because she's awesome, and maybe she'd be good for you.
Sure.
And you can like marry each
Yeah.
other. You like, hey, find my daughter, marry her, and then your life will be good again.
my
What?
land is yours.
What, Dan?
He sends him the letter saying I'm about to die. She's gonna need somebody to help her heal.
Yes.
You're that person.
Correct.
You
And then
were
he
helped
says,
too.
marry
Yes.
her.
Right. Yes.
Who's their doctor
Yes.
in the hospital.
And they,
part of
that's great. Anyway, Sam tells his dad, and they do kiss. Sam tells his dad that he doesn't want to run the company and wants to stay here and doesn't really, his dad's like, oh, well, I guess if that's what you want to do. He doesn't really get it until he sees the event. When the lights turn on, he's like, it's all tracks. I might move here myself. I don't know. It's Christmas morning and they go to a special spot and he's like, aren't we supposed to get married? It's Christmas Day. And she's like, I didn't say what Christmas. They kiss and take a picture and that, my friends, was to all a good night. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll break this video down with 4 segments here on
Deck
the
the
Hallmark. Sup, everybody. Sup. It's Casual Tuesday. Sup. We just say sup.
Sup? Casual Tuesday.
Come at
I
me,
didn't
bro.
know it was Casual Tuesday.
It's
I should
on
have
the
looked
calendar,
at my
isn't
calendar
it?
more. Yeah, I should
Yeah,
have
no,
looked.
it's on. It's on there.
Some of you,
It's
bro.
so casual. It's not even on the calendar. I think.
Yeah. casual.
That's what it
You
is.
just
Just
kind of,
like-
you get it. You know
You
it.
get it if you
Sup.
get it. That's right.
You know it. You can't. It's something you can't know.
Casual Tuesday.
And,
And
but
you
when
know
you
it.
feel it,
Recognize
you
it.
know
You'll
it.
when you feel
Casual.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, you do know.
Yeah. Can't know it, but you will.
You can't.
Cannot.
But
If you feel
But
it.
you will.
To All a Good Night is the movie we're talking about today. It's time for 4 segments where we're going to break it down. One segment is this, Hot Take. The Hot Take segment is where we share exactly how we felt about this movie. We do not hold back. And I'll start with you, Brian.
Sure.
What do you think about To All a Good Night?
Thanks, Brad. The beginning of this was a mess for me. I felt like I had no clue what was going on. And then when we got to the point where he sort of acknowledges to his cousin that he thinks he knows she's the girl who saved his life and is going to marry him, it kind of clicked for me to a point where I was like, I like that a lot. Like this could be really fun. And so I ended up kind of liking this movie a decent bit. I had a pretty good time. I thought they were going to do something they didn't do, and I wish they did do it. Which was there you go, Brad. I thought there was gonna be this whole thing of him putting a call out in the newspaper for, hey, somebody rescued me and I'm trying to find her. Can I get some help? And the people who read the paper recognize him as like a big time land developer, rich boy, and so people start trying to present themselves as the person who saved him. And I thought we were gonna get some funnies that way.
Yeah,
where
it's
like,
Hallmark movies and mysteries. We're not going to get funny.
I can dare to dream.
that. Yeah,
Let's
you can.
dare to dream.
Yeah.
So if they had done that, because I think I sat up at attention. I was like, if they do that bit, that's going to be, I'm all in on this. That's going to be a blast. They didn't do that at all. Complete, just straight down the middle of the road, down the dirt road on a motorcycle, if you will. But I still ended up liking it. It got kind of boring at times. And I was kind of like, I thought we were going to have a bigger reveal in the woods, like a little bit more. seeing decorated lights and trees and whatnot, and it was sort of like, okay, I guess that looks nice. And then you got to undo it all, like take everything out of the woods.
Oh my
It's
gosh,
just
stop.
a lot of work.
Real
for it.
Scrooge over here.
I
This
thought,
guy.
thought we should have seen it a little longer on screen, but overall, yeah, not.
Then you
not
got to
bad at all.
unplug it all.
You do, yeah, all those extension cords.
Not if you're stealing
boy.
brand stuff. You just cut it.
You just
You
cut
just
the cord.
Yeah, that maybe
That's
they do that
wild.
every year. They cut your cords.
They
They cut the
cord.
cord to Rudolph to take it.
then you can't use it.
Didn't have time to unplug those.
I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know what. It almost felt like. I don't even know what the comparison is. Like when you come across a dead body, and
I don't think that's the comparison.
Let him finish.
okay, and then but the body is not. That's just a leg.
doesn't
I don't
know where
know.
he's going.
I got to think it through a little bit more. There is something there
Cutting
where they
it
did.
seems like the worst way to do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so I ended up liking this an okay amount.
I also like this an okay amount. Sustad, great to see her. She's wonderful. I really like the main guy in this movie. He did this thing on a regular basis through this movie where he just kind of laughs. He
did.
just kind of laughs to himself on a regular basis. Specifically in the scene where his cousin is they're having a conversation with the dad about the business, and he's just like
laughing.
laughing to
he high,
himself.
you think?
I don't know, but I liked it. It's just kind of like when you think a situation is funny to yourself and you
Yeah.
just laugh. Like it felt very real to me. Like it's something that maybe you do with your family, where it's just like you just laugh when
Yeah,
something's
sure.
like just
You can't take, like, a
it's
serious
just like come
situation
on, this
makes
is
you
classic
laugh. Yeah.
dad. And you just
Classic.
laugh. I really liked the two of them together. I thought it was really nice. The dog was adorable. And yeah, I will say like the one thing to the mystery element of it when it just kind of is like, hey, the elephant necklace, and then he's like, I knew it, I knew it, like, and it just was like it all kind of felt like it all led to a little bit of nothing there.
Yeah.
But the two of these folks together was enough to pull this movie along. Dano?
Yeah, I am probably higher on this movie than the two of you.
Look at you.
weirdly enough, it's not amazing, but it's not bad.
Right.
It's going to be in my top 10. I do think Mark Ganimé is fantastic in this movie. I think Kimberly Sustad is fantastic in this movie, and I appreciated how they did that bit, because if they do this thing where the whole town is like, we're not telling you, then it's a horror movie. And if we do this thing where he knows for sure, then it's like, how long is he going to lie? But instead, the first time he sees her in the hospital, he talks to his cousin. He's like, I think that's her,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure. So it's actually the most realistic way to do that version of that story, where he's looking for this person, but he thinks he's actually found her. I thought their chemistry was great. I thought there were some really solid scenes. It does drag in spots. Like, it does get a little boring for 10 or 12 minute stretches, but better than most this year. I think I had it right at 9 or 10 when I looked last. So yeah, I wasn't mad at it.
It's good.
It's time for All the Feels, where we talk about what this movie made us go, man, that feels good. Right?
Yeah, the letter that he recited that he knew by
Mm-hmm,
memory, which was a nice touch. That whole explanation and that backstory like really worked for me. That came out of nowhere for me. I did not see that coming at all. I thought we were just kind of going through the motions here.
Yeah.
He ended up not, like, the whole thing of him not coming to develop the land.
It was the anti-Hallmark movie.
Yeah, I'm like, what are they doing? They're not going to see this through, and they did. Like, it really, like, they just didn't go that way with the
Right.
story, and
there
that
was
was
no
great.
crisis with him and his dad over him wanting to do it. Like,
Yes.
it was just, it was the anti-Hallmark movie,
Yeah.
and I really appreciated that.
Yeah, so that worked really, really well for me.
It should come as no surprise when they did turn on the lights. It did work for me. I was actually, when it was leading up to it, I was like, so this event is just people coming, they go in the woods and they decorate a tree? Like, that's
get
the
trees,
thing? They
right?
decorate the
They just
trees.
decorate
That's
with
the
the
thing. They
decorates.
go out there, it's the trees in the woods, and they decorate
So
them,
when
and then
they're
they turn it
donating
on.
money, they're not getting a,
No.
like, I was under, like,
Aren't they donating to people in need in the
Yeah.
community?
so
yeah.
they take all the money in and they give people trees that need them, right?
I thought they got the money.
No, I think they give the
give the
money.
money?
Yes.
That's even better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
they
I
just
love
go
that.
out
Let's
and
not
they just
waste
go and
money
they
on a
decorate
tree.
the
Let's-
woods
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like
Pretty
it's
cool.
like this like an entrance fee kind of thing.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
So the $250 you spent buying.
But
a
then
real
when I
tree.
saw it all together, I was like, yeah, I liked it a lot. I'm not entirely sure how they're getting the power out there and all that good stuff,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter because it worked. So I'm there for that. Dano?
Yeah, I love the idea of this community all giving what they can and doing what they need to. It's just not what happens in real life a lot of times, and that's unfortunate. But the idea that everybody gives an envelope, and if they can't give anything, they give an empty envelope is fantastic, because half of the problem with helping people in need is some people are too prideful to take that, and some people are too stingy and selfish to give. And this really puts the onus on you to go, how much can I really give and support people in my community? And those are the people you should be helping first. And I really loved how they did that and how important it was, and why this community, like if a community was going to lie about someone's identity, it would be the community that all at some point or another received money and given money. And that's what this community felt like. So I really like that a lot.
It's time to take one more quick break. We'll come back with what the Hallmark, and a fighting chance with Vic Webster. There was a motorcycle accident, but I don't know. Like, it could be close. Here on Deck the Hallmark.
Deck the Hallmark.
Welcome back, Lords and
Leaping.
Lords of Leaping. It is your boy Bran here with Brian.
Cash
Dan,
Tuesday. It's a Cash
Aaron.
Tuesday.
It's Cash Tuesday. Let's
Boy
get to
Brandon here on Cash Tuesday.
let's get to the wait what. It's where we talk about when this movie just go, wait what? It's cash. It's all cash here. It's just something that made us go,
Doesn't really matter.
what? Weird. Brian.
Yeah, I don't have much at all. The one thing that stood out to me was the medical attention he was receiving for banging up his shoulder and a concussion was a lot. Like, he was in the hospital for a while. It didn't feel like he should have been in a bed that long. Like, it just felt like he was there too long for that kind of injury.
It feels like they try to play it both ways, because they're like, if you had not found him for another day, it could have been like deadly serious.
Sure.
Why?
Right, because he just would have been
Did
anybody
he lose any
laying.
blood?
Yeah, maybe.
Like, what was it?
Maybe it would have been the injuries and then just being real cold. Like,
Yeah,
it
maybe it would've
maybe
froze.
your body would have been more easy to give into, like hypothermia.
Yeah,
Okay.
possibly. So I just thought he was.
I mean, I am not a doctor.
What?
well,
You're not a doctor.
But that advice,
did you get an honorary
got
doctorate from
something,
somewhere?
right?
Nothing yet. Nothing's
Not
coming.
yet.
Well, it's still time.
Yeah,
the
we'll
only
get
other
there.
thing, it's sort of a wait what, but it's something that hit me funny, and it's when it was a serious scene. It's when she opened up about being sad about her dad and missing him at the holidays at Christmas, and he was like, I can relate. I've lost people too, and he's like, and the way he said this just made me kind of like think it was funny. He's like, yeah, you think Christmas is bad? Wait till like the first birthday, or wait till what else did he say? Proceeded to say things like, you think Christmas is hard? Wait for the birthday without them. Wait for the first full day. You don't even think of them, and just the list of things like for her to not look forward to was just like, man, I don't know. Like,
Actually,
maybe
wasn't
just
even.
don't.
I hadn't even thought about that.
There was
Yeah,
definitely a piling on there of like, well, wait till you get to this. Where do these moments come in your life?
like,
and like,
ooh.
here's a list I have if you want to read over them now to get super depressed.
Right, yeah, like just to get her, she's not quite crying hard enough yet. Like, to really get her going. So I was just like, it's funny to me. I get the conversation, but I don't know, it just made me chuckle a little bit.
I only have a few as well. One, at the beginning of this movie, they're tracking down that dog and they're in the car and they're doing this thing. It's like, it's going over there. And then they're like, no, you got to pull a Yui. You got to go back over this way. And before they even finish that sentence, they have Yui'd. And it is faster than Dan does a Yui. And Dan's a fast Yui guy.
He's a fast Yui guy.
It was lightning fast. We got to go. We're there. We're going this way now. I understand that this Bongo Santa is supposed to be terrifying.
Let's get in it.
What are those red eyes about? That seemed like a very interesting manufacturing choice.
Yeah.
To go Bongo Santa. What if? Hear me out. Red eyes.
Yeah.
Why does it exist? Yeah. Who approved that? Dan, did you have something else to add to Bongo Santa?
The Bongo Santa's not playing the bongos.
That's true.
Close.
He's not.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Why is it called Bongo Santa if he's playing a full set of drums, not a set of bongos? I can't believe the drummer didn't pick that out immediately.
I didn't mention it.
Yeah.
I mean,
didn't even mention it.
That was just a
Sorry
freebie
about
there. I thought for sure you'd take
Bongo
that.
Santa.
I love that idea though for a toy. I was thinking
Bongo
like,
Santa, but he would have like a Hawaiian shirt on,
Yeah,
right? And just
and
a couple
just-
of bongos.
just boom, boom.
Just change the script to be like Drummer Santa. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's still creepy.
And then another thing similar to your last wait what that just caught me funny in the midst of a really serious conversation is when like she's crying and he is reciting the letter or whatever, and she just goes, "He was always telling me to marry people," which is just so funny. Just like and like just the way that it was all presented, like it's a very serious moment. She's like, "He was always telling me to marry people,"
and then she says after that, "It was our joke."
It was our joke.
He was always telling me to marry people. It was our joke. Wow, what a joke!
What a hole!
What a joke! Yeah.
Dan.
Yeah, so this is not Kimberly Susted's fault, but once again, we have someone who's a photographer, and some of these pictures that they show us, the photo of the elderly couple at the beginning that they used for their Christmas card, that couldn't have been the best picture. It's terrible. I wouldn't pay for it. It was bad. It was really, really bad, and classic Hallmark in photography. This dude, within an hour, finds a full-size Rudolph outfit for a party in a small town. And I don't know how he did it. He wasn't planning on going to this costume thing. He didn't have anything. It's a small town, and all of a sudden, he's got Rudolph. That's impressive. I don't know who he borrowed it from,
Or stole it from. Maybe beat somebody up for it.
Maybe. He could have beat somebody up.
Yeah.
I think we'll hear about that
Yeah, we sure will.
Fighting Chance, for sure. When he finally pitches his idea for why he's in town, it's basically just a neighborhood, right?
Yeah, more or less, yes.
It's a place where you can build a big house, a small house, an accessible. All houses should be accessible, but an accessible house. That's what he says.
Yeah.
That's what?
Yeah.
Cool, bro.
A neighborhood, but
Like, like a cul-de-sac? Yeah. I want to build one of those.
Yeah. It's a neighborhood with no zoning restrictions.
Yeah,
It's just like whatever you
basically
want.
Ungated
Any
community, like we live
structure.
in.
Yeah. Just come on in.
Those are
build
really,
what you want.
There's a lot of them. That is not. You're not doing anything weird here. That is not a big secret.
Where the people want to be neighbors, I think was the big difference. Like these people want to be like congregate and be near each other.
Yeah. Okay. Well, whatever. It was not sold to me as anything other than neighborhood.
Maybe he wants to build a cult. Maybe that's what he's looking for.
All right. We got some tips for him.
What?
And lastly,
Not a cult.
you can have a dog that can sit still for 30 seconds without you looking at him, or you can have a dog that steals stuff. You cannot have both. You cannot have both of those things. My dogs are wonderful, and they will all sit and wait on me on command. But if I walk away from them, they don't stay seated. They take off. This dog sits still on a rock in the background for minutes at a time. That dog is not getting into any trouble. He's a very good boy. And how dare you shame his name like that? That's all I got.
It's time for What the Hallmark is For. We wonder what could have been. Maybe I'll pick up some clarity questions with the left. Brian?
Yeah, mine is more of like a technical thing. There was a scene where they were walking on a beach when it was supposed to be nighttime. It was after some event at the school. And it was supposed to be dark, obviously, but it looked like it was filmed during the day and they made it dark afterwards. Because you see clouds in the sky. You clearly see sky, like blue sky behind the clouds. You see sun on his shoulders. Like, I don't know. I don't even know what my question is. Like, am I right? Like, was that filmed at day? Can you do that easily? Like, film during the day, just make it nighttime? I know we got, like, there's new great tools. Like, you can
All kinds of stuff
do
that
crazy
could
stuff.
fix
I
it,
can't
yeah.
imagine they're using crazy tools, but I don't know. Like, just wondering, is that what happened? And why do it at the beach? Do it somewhere else. Do it inside. Like, why are you? It just looked really funny to me, and I don't know why you had to do that.
Yeah, I had one at the beginning of the movie. She is out on the rocks with those kids, and they're taking like pictures for Christmas cards and stuff. And it's just like in a town that size. With the amount of Christmas that it has, why there for that? Like, why the rocks by the water for Christmas cards? It just seemed like a very interesting location for such a lesson, but that was just my only one, really. Dano?
This dad does something where he finds soldiers that are clearly like struggling with the transition back into everyday life, and he like befriends them and mentors
Army knows
them,
Army.
And Army knows Army, and he sends them letters regularly, and then he uses that as a tool. And this is actually where the movie falls short, because this is such a great idea. This could have been like the centerpiece of this movie. He uses that as a tool to encourage his daughter after he's gone. I would love to hear the stories of those other soldiers. Like, I'd love to see a movie that isn't centered around Susted's dad, but just like they keep getting these letters and they open them up and they're like, oh, this is encouraging at this time in my life. I think that'd be really cool.
Almost like what if we called it like the Christmas card?
Ooh, no.
That's not. That couldn't be taken.
We could.
What if we call it like the Christmas card two?
Christmas cards. The
Or
Christmas,
the Christmas cards.
There would be
Ooh, there you
no
go.
And
confusion there.
it's a
People would not
series.
record it on their DVR by accident ever.
Or ask when it's airing.
Man, it's a great idea.
There's a hospital visit. There's some arguments.
Ooh, yeah.
Are there any fights? There's only one man I would trust to inform me of that. It's time for a fighting chance with Vic Webster.
Fighting chance with Vic Webster. A fighting chance with Vic Webster. Was the fighting in the movie? Did someone get hurt? It's a fighting chance with Vic Webster. A fighting chance with Vic Webster. A fighting chance with Vic Webster. Vic Webster.
This movie had a serious lack of action.
A fighting chance with Vic Webster. Vic Webster.
Not wrong.
I don't think he's a fan, to be honest with you. That's tough. We're at tomorrow,
Yeah.
Magic and Mistletoe,
Magic
Wednesday.
are playing tomorrow.
What?
Oh, I thought the Magic aren't playing the Mistletoe tomorrow?
No.
It's different? Okay.
No, I can
bad.
see how you got there.
Yeah.
That is, I think, I think that's Friday. I think
Friday,
they're playing
okay.
Mistletoe
Friday's
on
Magic
Friday.
Mistletoe. Got it.
Until then, maybe we're the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.